Your 20s are often a very eventful time. You may be starting a new job that could lead to a career. You could be buying a house for the first time, as well as could be getting married. Whether these happen in your 20s or your 30s, let's cover these three areas and some important considerations to have before you take each one of these big steps. Starting a new job is an exciting time of life. New people to meet, new responsibilities to understand, and often a new pay. With this pay increase often comes is looking at what additional draws or responsibilities are on that money. For example, oftentimes when we have a pay increase, our lifestyle increases as well. So maybe you need to beef up an emergency fund because your housing expenses have gone up because you've moved because of this job. Or as well as one thing to consider is, are you withholding enough taxes? Because oftentimes our pay increases, we have to pay more taxes. So looking at how much your withholdings are may be able to help you have any surprises come next year's, when it's time to prepare next year's tax return. The other area to consider are employee-sponsored benefits. These can be stock options, health savings accounts, retirement plans, health insurance, and looking and understanding what each of these benefits are can be very helpful for you. For example, the sooner you understand, say if you're offered a company 401k plan with a match, the sooner you get started, the more savings you can have in there. So understanding what each of these employer-sponsored benefit plans, because this may be the first time you're coming across them, is take time, ask questions, review, make sure you understand what's going on. The second thing that often happens in your 20s, maybe early 30s, is buying your first home. This is a great leap and it's an exciting time. And one thing that's easy to happen is it's easy to overbuy. It's easy to buy more home than you're ready for. One thing to understand is your income. Where is it coming from and what other obligations are on there? For example, do you have car or student loan payments, and how will that impact future mortgage payments? When you buy a home, we'd all love to buy a home with cash, but often that's not the case, and often many are signing up for a 30-year mortgage. This can be a great thing over time. Usually as you're getting started out, it can be more stressful than you're anticipating. For example, home ownership brings a slew of problems because there's no landlord to call to just fix your problems. Ask any homeowner, it seems to be that the roof only leaks in the middle of the winter and your AC only breaks on the hottest day of the summer. It just seems to be how home ownership is. And so not only having enough cash flow, but having an adequate emergency fund on top of your living expenses can be beneficial, because home breakdowns are an emergency. It's where you're living, and being able to have enough cash on hand can allow you to sleep at night even with this additional responsibility of a home mortgage payment that you have. So those considerations, beefing up your emergency fund and also understanding where your income is coming from, can allow you to help prevent any surprises when it comes to buying your first home. What we've seen from clients in their 20s and early 30s, the third area is getting married. This is a great thing. I've been married for 10 years, and to be honest, there's no breadth of questions you can really ask yourself that will prepare. Marriage is a journey that you take with somebody, and so we're only going to cover just superficially a few of the financial considerations. The two major areas are income, and the other area is debt. So income goals can be, what are your career aspirations? Do both of you have a goal to work up their career ladder? Do you want to start a business? What are kind of the goals around income that either you may have, and how can you work together to achieve those? Because maybe down the road, some stresses because one spouse wanted to start a business and the other spouse was the earner, can create stress over time if that goal takes longer to play out. So having some understanding about what income do both of you desire, standard of living. Obviously we'd all love to make $1 billion every year, but that's not realistic. And so what's the lifestyle that you're both hoping to achieve? As well as, and then going to the other side of debt obligations. Are there any surprise debts? You don't want to have any surprises going into marriage when it comes to debts. These can be credit card loans, car loans, any old medical debts. And talking about them and getting on the same page is important before making that step to marriage. And clarifying who's responsible. Is it going to be a joint project? Is one person going to take those debts on? As well as kind of discussing how you're going to use debt through your marriage. Now this will change as situations change, but getting on a common page about kind of your understandings and attitudes around debt is important. because this drives kind of the third area, which is your savings rate. We all need to save for the future, whether it's for a future business you want to start up or kids or retirement. There's always things to save for, or even fun things like travel or having big fancy elaborate dinners, whatever you're looking forward to. But getting on the same page about how much you're willing to save, how much you're kind of willing to trim off today to be ready for tomorrow is something that you need to come together on and understand about what's the savings goals that you have for the future. Look, I get it. Your 20s are a very busy time. A lot's happening. And taking the time to think ahead of through each of these areas of buying a home, getting started in a new job, getting married, and maybe even the introduction of kids, the more questions you can ask ahead of time, the better. If you'd like a list of questions to ask yourself or maybe a significant other, or a series of checklists, give us a call or reach out to me, Garrett at ascendinvestment.com. Would be happy to help.